We've done a lot of rounds of applause. Everyone give it up for Noah Kagan.
Oh, thank you. It's funny though, because like I've ridden with some of you, but I only recognize you in spandex. Like I didn't know that's how you looked. Like, I was just like, this is weird.
And are you liking what you see?
Yeah, it's great in person. Yeah.
All right. Well, without further ado, we can kind of get the party started here. I usually start with the softballs.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So made a name for yourself, online, writing books, starting companies. Where you're from? How'd you get into bike riding?
Bike ride? Anybody from California? Any Californians here? Yeah, NorCal. Which part? I'm from San Jose. Which part? Nice. Cupertino, Lindbergh High School. Class of? Oh, you guys are the rich ones. We're like down the hill. Yeah, grew up in the Bay around tech and all these computers and like AOL, chat rooms, AIM. You guys remember this stuff? Like IRC. So just grew up around it. My dad was like a sales guy he sold copier people out there. I don't know. And then my stepfather is a electrical engineer in semiconductors. So he bought NVIDIA stock early is what I'm talking about. And that worked out pretty well. And then, I just kind of was in tech my whole life. And I got a chance to be really lucky being born in the Bay and around a really interesting environment to be at Berkeley, Facebook, Mint.com, and then starting a lot of my own companies. And then biking, I've ridden with some of you guys, like Alec, we've ridden a decent amount, Stephen. I was telling Sam the story. So I think I got into biking because my father stole someone's bike. Like he said he found it, but I was like,
this is a true story.
I was like, where'd you find it? He's like, oh, it was like outside their house. I was like, no, that's someone's. And then, but then I rode that bike for 10 years and I ended up giving it away. I was trying to get rid of it. So I kept trying to give it away to other people. It was a Nishiki. You guys remember like the Nishiki stuff? And so that kind of led me, I think where I started biking when I got my first spandex. That's like the crossing point.
That's how you know.
When you change into the Amazon brand spandex. You guys know what I'm talking about? The SPO need. Like that's a moment in your life. And that was probably 10 years ago, give or take about 10 years with the spandex transition.
Yeah. And we're going to get into Noah's career and, all the things aforementioned things he's been up to. But I actually kind of met you. You're one of the first people I met when I moved to Austin 5 years ago. Right out of the gate, it was like, okay, let's ride bikes. And Noah, I've noticed, is not a competitive cyclist as far as like metrics and Strava PR and like this and that. Like it's not what drives him. And I've always really like respected and appreciated that. Like why ride bikes? Like what does it for you?
I'm competing. It's just you're better. Like, you're just kicking my arm like, oh, there's Sam going again. Like, I'm trying to compete.
To lob it back over. No. The irony with that is that I know Noah's very competitive.
I am. Have you ever seen the bike meme? You know the bike meme where it's like, oh, I beat another random guy who had no idea today. Have you guys seen that meme? It's like, I competed. The guy had zero clue or female. And no, I think with cycling, I was talking with Adam a little bit about it where... and I've talked with, do you guys know Gabriel Porterfield? He's like a pro in town.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He's a young guy. And I think what he got me thinking more about was just like, you can win with sustainability. You can win with consistency in biking. And I find that I just get more joy out of that versus like, hey, I want to get a PR. Like I was in Spain this summer and I've been going every year for about 6-7 years, mostly for cycling. And there's like a few hills. One's called, I don't know if you've ridden in Spain, but there's one in Barcelona called Arreposada. And it's like, you want to get a good time. And like, I literally like, I'll give myself a heart attack, right? You guys understand what I'm talking about. You give yourself a heart attack to get that, like not KOM, but the PR for yourself. And then I just don't want to get back on the bike. And so, you guys know what I'm talking about? Where you like go so hard and you go home and my wife's like, I need you alive. Like we have a baby, like now we're having another baby. You need to stay alive. And I'm pushing myself so hard, I will kill myself. Yeah. Right? Like I'm willing to go there. And I was just like, okay, I can't die. And so how do I find just more joy in the cycling and sustaining? And that's what Gabe and I have talked about, which is like, how do I not ride super hard and then stop off? Just like ride the same. And I think he was saying competitively or professionally, like that's a better way to improve your overall cycling.
100%.
So I think I aim with that, but that's probably also the same in business. In business, I'm probably just the same level of competition. And I think part of my success in business is like sustaining. Like, how do I bring energy, but then also try to figure out how to sustain it over a long period of time?
I did want to ask you about Spain, though. So you've been visiting for pretty extended periods last, what, few years?
Yeah, 7 years.
Last 7 years. What like, tell us about riding bikes in the mountains of Spain.
Have you guys ridden in Europe? Or it sounds so bougie, by the way. My friend's like, "Oh, you ride in kilometers."
It is bougie.
I ride in España. We have paella. You know, like it is that good, okay? And I am that rich. No, I'm not. No. You can. It's gotten more expensive, just like Austin has, but you can ride literally in like the world class cycling, and then the cost of living there is cheaper than Austin.
And and are the rides close to Barcelona? Are they like?
It's just like,
how do you get out to the mountains?
Close your eyes, everyone, with me.
Yeah.
Just the roads. Just close your eyes. Just okay. Roads. It's like perfect roads, and like in America, like we only make the highways nice. Think of the roads like that no one's even driving on. Europe's like, we're gonna be equal. So you roads that no one goes on, they're perfect. They're perfect roads, like perfect. You guys know that feeling?
Yeah.
When you're on it.
Smooth.
You were in Spain riding, in Europe riding. It's just like so smooth. And you're just like, I can't believe I get this for myself. And then you got the views. The views are just like, oh yeah, that's the Gaudi thing from 1400. That's not 1800. You got the ocean, you got the mountains. And then I come back to Austin. I'm like, oh great, another Texas flag. That's cool. You know, like
no mountains here, unfortunately.
And then the mountains are right there.
Right.
You have Girona right there. Like this year I rode in Andorra, I rode in Italy, not Italy, France. And you could do it on a train. So like the train rides, and it's also just so much cheaper. So if you're living in Austin and you have the ability professionally or with your family or by yourself, I'd highly recommend it. I was lucky that 7 years ago, my buddy Dan was living there and he's like, come through. So it wasn't as intentional, but then since I've been there, it's just such a blast, and it's a nice balance to take a break in the summer to be able to ride there. So I highly recommend it if you need suggestions on how to live. There's a site called Ukayo for cheap not relatively affordable Airbnbs.
And you can talk to Kate at Zwift. She's moving there soon, so y'all will be riding in Spain.
No, it's such a magical place, especially for the riding. I think my wife and I got there this summer, if I'm sharing honestly, and she didn't want to be there because she was pregnant. And I just wanted to be there for riding, and so we had to negotiate because I don't know when we can come back.
Yeah.
But if you get a chance to go out there, there's just so many amazing mountains. There's a really good, pretty good amount of groups. Barcelona road cycling group. And I just had a really nice time, man. It was just, I was sad. Sad to come back.
We'll try to join you out there at some point.
Yeah,
That would be nice.
I'd love to do a group ride out there. If you guys get a chance, I think Kate or someone here was saying it. Okay, you're saying your previous job. I think like a group tour out there, like if you can do like in Italy or France or Spain, would be just such a magical experience.
Let's start talking about your illustrious career here, and like this is, I feel like part of what makes up the enigma, the mystique of Noah Kagan. So,
Bless you.
Noah is kind of internet famous for being an early employee at a number of very successful tech companies, among them Facebook, Mint.com, being an early employee and not sticking around quite long enough to have his stock vest to the point where it would really benefit him. So what Noah has done is kind of flipped it, and he's created I don't know if you'd call it a persona. I don't know exactly what I just think from a self-branding and content perspective, it's really feel like it's put you on the map. So I've always wondered, how did you go about flipping the script, changing the narrative from like, shit, I lost out on this, to, hey, this is an opportunity, and really building a name for yourself off that?
Yeah. No, I'd much rather be a billionaire. I would have preferred if I did not get fired.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that would have been a nice outcome. I don't know how my life path, that path would have gone. I own 0.1% of Facebook, and so I think they're like a few trillion now. That would have been pretty good.
Do the math, folks.
Yeah. It was an interesting time, like living at a house with all these guys and working directly for Zuckerberg, and I was devastated. And I think we should all get fired, right? Everyone here should have some tragedy in your professional life. And that, that makes you stronger, gives you resolve, and helps you figure out what you want to do or not do. And And so why I started like talking about the failure was more by accident. It was on a Saturday. I was at a coffee shop and I was just writing about my Facebook experience and how I got fired and how I lost out on the money.
And can we put a timeline on this? Like how, how old were you?
Well, I got fired at 23 or 24. I was working at Intel in a cubicle.
Okay.
Just a real standard job. Fired early, went back home to live with my mom. And I think I just was like, man, that's not cool. That was disappointing.
Yeah.
And so in terms of like branding it or being a persona, that wasn't my intent. It was more just sharing a story. And I think that's kind of like $1 Million Weekend, AppSumo, the things that I've had success with. I'm kind of just playing around and I'm curious and I'm trying things out. And then I think what I do is I pay attention to what people are responding to. So I put out this article, like how I lost $100 million. And then it just went viral. It was like 1 million views in 2 days. Like people
can you tell us about it? Like how'd you go? Would you publish it on? Like how did it go viral?
My blog, Kagan.com. I just put the article out, and then I don't know if there's Twitter at this time. At 2007. No.
This is what I'm talking about. I don't think Noah gives himself enough credit for just like things just don't go viral. You know what I mean? Like it takes copywriting, it takes marketing savvy.
Yeah, sometimes, and sometimes they do go viral. But yeah, I think there isn't. It's finding what works, and then how do you do a lot more of it? I think that's a lot of my success is just really testing things really quickly as fast as possible. That's what we do at AppSumo. And then once you find something that works, it's like, okay, we're going to go insanely hard on this. And so the article, I don't know, I think I spent a Saturday or two, not as long. I've had probably 4 articles in my life go super viral. And those I spent months on. Those were ones that were
and the first one was just a weekend. Yeah.
It was not $1 Million Weekend. You shouldn't, plug the book.
Sorry for confusing people.
It was more just, I wanted to share the story. I think I was embarrassed. I spent a lot of time like with like life coaches and therapists, and I was angry. I was so disappointed. It probably took me like 10 years to really reduce the amount of anger I had at Zuckerberg and Facebook, and all these guys are so rich and like they're elite and they're Harvard, right? Yeah. And I'm like, public school.
Yeah.
And so I think I just wanted to share the story. It wasn't that I wanted attention for it necessarily. It was just like putting it out there, and it resonated. People liked it. And so actually a friend of mine now was like, oh, you're number 30 at Facebook. And so he just started calling me that, like Neville, one of my best friends. So all of my marketing was like number 30 at Facebook, and people were like, oh, that guy's legit.
Yeah.
And it's weird how I would have never really talked about it or gone with it, but people responded well.
Yeah, that is a really sort of heartfelt, authentic, vulnerable story. Like I didn't know that. That's
yeah. I mean, it was a tough ass time. It's funny though. I feel like LinkedIn now is that's everybody's story today in LinkedIn. It's like, oh man, the sales call didn't answer. That sucks.
Yeah.
I'm so vulnerable. I've had a bad day. I was like, I only lost 100 million at that time. Now it's $1 billion.
Yeah.
And all these other guys that were there with me and after me are now billionaires. And I'm only like a multimillionaire. Oh, sucks for you, dude. No, it's more like I was just happy to share the experience. I don't know. I think in times in life, it's like, well, what's the upside? A lot of people benefit. I'm sharing a good story. Maybe some other person who gets fired realizes that life goes on. Downside is like not very much.
Yeah.
So I think that calculation was very quick and put it out. And I think that led me to then also get fired at Mint. Where now people wanted to hire me to fire me.
Wow.
Which I thought was a pretty smart business move on different companies.
I think you really, like you said, you tested out a lot of things, started companies. Were you pulling from those challenges did it give you extra sort of grit, fortitude to then jump into a number of different companies? Like how did you approach the part of your career at like after Mint?
I think working. Does anyone hate their job here? It's okay.
All right, we got a few.
Yeah, few. Yeah. Be honest. It's okay. Yeah. There's more. It's more hands than people. Like I was like, I hate my job. I hated working at Intel. It was the worst job. I didn't have to do anything, but it was such an annoying job to like show up. I had to wear business professional. The walls had no colors. There was like meetings about meetings. So I used to like sleep at the office. I would just like put my desk to block the cubicle, and then I put a sleeping bag underneath with a pillow, and then I would just spend at least 4 hours a day sleeping. And
that's the Seinfeld textbook. George Costanza. Yeah.
He did it too. It was great. And so I think it got clear working at Intel and Facebook and Mint that I was really excited to have my own schedule. I was excited to have my own freedom. I was excited to have my own, like, why don't I just work with people I really like? Like Paul's here. Paul's, because wait, Paul, he's right there. You should look at him. So make it awkward. And Paul's, I was like, wow, what if I could just work with all awesome people like Paul and other people at AppSumo? And so I think just in my 20s, I was really willing to experiment and try a lot of things out. I think now that I'm married, I've got a mortgage, I've got almost 2 kids. It's definitely, I can see where it's scarier to give up my lifestyle inflation, right? It's hard, like car payments. It's definitely harder at this point. I respect any parent out there or someone who is a parent and trying to get something started. It's definitely more challenging.
Yeah.
But I think in my 20s, I lived in my aunt's basement. I lived on floors for a year. I lived at my mom's house 2 years. And I was just so determined to prove Facebook wrong to try to feel good about myself. And so I tried so many things during that period. Like I tried working at Mint. I built Facebook games. Remember Farmville?
Yeah.
I helped do Farm Town. We did Oregon Trail. You guys remember Oregon Trail? That was us. Sorry about that. And so I think I've done a good job in my career picking categories of industries that have done well. So right now, the biggest, most popular one is AI. Everyone's doing AI stuff. I'm starting to get into that, but I think historically I've done with social networking was big, personal finance was big, Facebook games were big. And then I kept trying to trying to take pieces of what I don't like in jobs and what I don't like in people, what I don't like in myself, and how do I keep learning to eventually have my own company so I can show up to work every day and be like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
And I would say finally at AppSumo, 20 years later, I would say I show up and I'm excited about what's going on. It's not always been the case. I just took the last year off on paternity. But I think in my 20s, it was a lot of desperation, frustration, and then trying a lot of experiments. This is what I talk about in the book as well. If you're trying to get your own business started, just starting and then trying things like, all right, let me event, and then learning from each of these different endeavors.
Yeah, and I think that's a good transition to talk about the book. And I've read the book, and if you can't tell, I'm starting something here with Hill Climbers, so yeah. I was definitely taking notes. And one of my favorite themes in the book is the ask. Like you really emphasize that point for entrepreneurs. In order to really make any modicum of progress, like you got to ask people for something, for the first sale, for the first dollar. Is there any background story to that? Like, is that something you can expound on? Can you maybe articulate kind of how you see that as important?
Yeah. Growing up, I have a father, and I just remember feeling always embarrassed when he would ask for things. Like we'd go to the store and he'd ask for the discount. We go to a garage sale, he asked for 50% off. And I think it's in, a little bit of how he was built, and maybe in some of the Jewish culture. And so in the Jewish culture, you're taught to ask.
I have a Jewish mother, and this resonates.
If you want to accomplish things in life, get a Jewish mom. It's such a cheat code. Doesn't matter your religion. Get a Jewish mom on your side. Like, did you do this, Noah? Yeah, I did it.
But you didn't, and then you actually do it.
No, I always do it. Okay. And she's ruthless. Never forgets anything. Sorry, where are we going with it? It was
just like that was an important theme of the book.
The starting and asking.
Yeah.
It was seeing my dad ask for things, and then with AppSumo.com, we've been running this business doing software deals 15 years. It's the culmination of all the things I learned at Facebook and Mint and all the other startups I tried. And then I launched a course in it called Monthly 1K. And the idea was like, can I actually replicate my success and teach it to others? And what I noticed is so many people would talk about their idea. And they're like, all right, I got this idea. It's an AI thing, or it's a e-commerce product, or a Shopify product, or it's a service product. I'm like, okay, great. Did you get a customer? No, I'm building it. Okay, cool. How long have you been building it? Years. Great. When are you going to do it? No, I need more time. And I was trying to understand, there's tens of thousands of people who've taken this course. And then I was trying to, what's the essence of what's holding these people back? It's how many people here are entrepreneurs running their own business? Do you?
Wow.
Yeah.
So that
raise your hand.
That is
nice.
60, 70% of the audience here.
A lot.
Awesome.
And then how did you get your first customer?
Gentleman in the back is saying kind of hand-to-hand combat.
Totally.
Just one at a time.
And I think when people are looking today, there's AI agents, that do the thing, and you don't have to talk to anyone ever again. You just get rich, via TikTok, and it works. But what I've realized is that most people just never get started, and they never get the first customer. And so I was like, well, what are the two elements that are core for success? It's like, well, you got to start. And I think people are spending like a year or two. Like, let's say you want to be a photographer at events. Go do an event today. Go find someone to do an event. And then the second part is, how do you ask? Right? Because I think a lot of people hope, or they wish, or they pray. And I noticed that if you can just get started and then you can practice the skill of asking, it's probably the most important skill of success. And the thing with asking that people don't realize, it's a skill. It's just like cycling. You guys all have like your heart rate bands, and you have FTP, you have your wattage, and you do like zone whatevers. Like, your skill is improving because you have a plan. But people don't think in business that you can develop a skill and improve your skill, which specifically I'd say asking, if you want to get more clients as a law firm, or if you want to get more customers or more clients as a audio, how do you practice it? And so those are the things I noticed that people from my course, from my own success, from my childhood, that people needed to work on and develop as skills to have success in business. And I think one other thing I just got to say is, like, the awesome part about business is that you just don't have to be tall. You don't have to be good looking. You don't have to be anything. You just have to go do it. And that was the thing that people were really holding themselves back on. It was like, you just can do it right now. Like, is anyone here wanting to start a business that hasn't? Yes.
You got a few hands.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. And so what's your business idea, or like?
I think my big fear has always been, is there a demand for a product like that? And, one of my old colleagues, Mike, who's also a former ER doctor who had the cojones to actually branch out and do something that he wanted to do, kind of tipped me to do this, but I was always fearful of demand. So, like, is anybody interested in a product like that? I think even seeing like two hands would make me, interested. So.
Got
what's
many
the product?
hands up.
So the idea and the where the idea came from is, I went to a primary care doctor appointment like everybody else, and I'm a cyclist, and I know that I'm moderately healthy. And he said, "Hey, you're healthy. I'll see you in a year." He did like 2 blood tests, and it was the most disappointing thing in my life. And this is what I do for a profession. And I just thought, like, God, what a shit product this is. There's got to be more. And yeah, so as a cyclist, I care about FTP and power and all these things. And there's ways to test those and monitor those and optimize those things from a physician standpoint. And it was just too chicken shit to ask anybody or wonder if there was demand out there. So that's the story.
And so there's demand today. Is there demand today? Can you get a piece of paper or your phone and then go around? And
this is the greatest.
This is $500 or $5
pitch I've ever heard in my life.
I'll buy $5. Great. Hold on. So there's people. Why don't you go and just raise your hand? Can we keep the hands up and then you go get a bunch of people right now? Do you take your phone and go do it?
Yeah, I'll be around. Cool.
No. Let's do it right now.
I'll grab paper.
Yeah.
Can I get some paper?
Is there paper or your phone? Nice. Here. I'm gonna give you a book.
Thanks. Good job.
Yeah, here, raise your hands. Let him. This is literally it. So hold on. Raise your hand so Steve can come do it. Okay. Keep going. Yeah, do your thing. Here's what I want to highlight. I've done this a lot of times. I've helped a lot of people do it.
Sorry, real quick. So we've got Event Magic set up for this very purpose, Steve. If you scan those QR codes, you will have a digest email tomorrow of all the people that you connected with.
Oh, here. Yeah. Raise your hand so Steve can take your photo. He'll come photo your chest. No, let's do it. Keep your hand up. I want to make sure he gets the context of the people. Yeah. So what I want to highlight real fast while Steve does this is that when I started my business, when Adrian started a business, when Lee started his business, when John, even a law firm, doesn't matter. You just start with one customer. And I think people have this idea that it's like, oh, no, they just magically appear. But no, it's just one. And a lot of times it's from advice. It's from your network. It's from hey, I'm at a cycling event. Maybe I could ask a person if it's them or they know someone. And I think we tend to add a lot of fear. Like, I have fear too about different things as well. And it's totally normal. And it's a skill as well that you start practicing start practicing asking. It becomes easier and easier and easier.
And I'm learning that in real time with hill climbers. I bring it up, as some of you might have noticed, my wife in particular. in almost every single conversation. And the reason is that that's how you get performance. That's how you get an outcome out of it. And to Noah's point, like at first, you're feeling self-conscious and sort of squeamish about sharing your vulnerable idea, your thing that's, fledgling. And then after 3 years, it actually becomes something. Now we got a room full of people. It's like, so get the book, read the book. It's definitely inspiring if you're looking to start something. So moving right along, one of the topics you touched on that I loved was like early days, managing your time. You've now started a family. You took some time away from AppSumo and now you're back.
Yeah.
So I was really curious to hear you kind of your thoughts and reflections on, okay, I had a year and change dedicating just to the family. Now you're back at work. How do you feel about your use of time right now?
How many people here have kids? Wow. How'd you guys get out tonight? Like, how did you do it? So I do think entrepreneurship is the way to freedom of your time, right? So you can choose if you want to be at work or you don't have to be at work. And I feel very lucky that I put in the work to be able to get to this point. And so I took a year off for paternity, and it was challenging. I feel lucky that I could see my daughter from 0 to 1, and every single day, all day, I got to be with her. But I will say that personally, I also felt a little emptier, a little less confidence, not as good about myself, because it's nice to work. It's nice to create. It's nice to help people if you're making something like a physical practice or a product or a service or software. And so coming back to work has been a nice treat. It's been different because I'm used to spending 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. with my family. And now I'm sure like a lot of people here, it's like 7 to 9 with my daughter, 9 to 6 with work, 6 to 8 with my daughter, and then 8 to 9 with my wife, and then go to sleep. And so the day you just don't have, there's really not as much time for yourself. And so it's definitely an adjustment.
Would love to talk a little bit about AppSumo as well.
Yeah.
So you've what year is this at the company?
15 years.
15 years doing this company.
How many people here know AppSumo? Like knew about AppSumo? A few? Nice. If you don't know AppSumo and you're looking to grow your small business and you want to save money on software, open your phone, go to appsumo.com right now and join the newsletter. We do software deals for entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and I guess we can take a step back. Like, how'd you stumble upon this idea? Like, what? It's such an elegant idea.
Yeah, it's in our careers, there's these everything you're learning from, right? It's all these different steps. And so at Facebook, I was like, oh, I like making web products. And then Mint, I liked marketing. And then after Mint, I built those Facebook games I told you, and I did payments for Facebook games. And I was like, oh, I don't like infrastructure stuff as much, but I like giving people customers. And so it's kind of like, how can I do this in a way that in an industry that I like? And so I basically saw that software was going to get bigger. There was only like Dropbox, LinkedIn, MailChimp, FreshBooks. Those were like all the software that existed. And I was like, maybe there's a way that I could help bring those kind of companies customers. And is there a way I could test this out, just like we did with Steve, like very quickly to see if there was demand? And so my first idea to bring companies customers was to go to local restaurants and bring them a fishbowl. And then people put in their cards in the fishbowl, and then I would digitize. This is high tech. I would digitize these cards, business cards, and I would give them an email list. And so I go to a local restaurant, and I'm just like, this is a real shitty business. Like, this is never going to work. So it's called Fishbowl. That one didn't work. But the problem I was excited about from my experiences, I was like, people like customers. Like, Facebook brings people customers. Google brings people customers. Amazon brings people customers. Like, these are the most valuable companies in the planet. And so I got excited about that in a category, but I didn't know how I would solve it. And so then the second idea was called softwaretaco.com. And the idea there, I eat a lot of tacos. Shout out. We all love tacos here in Texas. And so the idea there was, can we do software reviews? So I hired a bunch of people on Upwork for $5. And then we wrote a bunch of reviews of software, and then no one came. And I was like, okay, this is so slow. So the third one that finally worked was, I was like, oh, what if I did like a daily deal? This is when Groupon actually just launched. It's like, what if I did a daily deal instead of nail salons on software? And so I posted it I put a PayPal button on a website, and then I just posted it on Reddit. There's more to the story. It's in the book, the details. And I posted on Reddit, and then I think we did like 200 sales in a weekend, or like very, very quickly, of it was an image hosting company called Imgur. I don't know if you guys know Imgur. It's a little, and so I'm a huge Redditor, and I was then, I am now. And I posted it, and immediately people bought it. And I was like, okay, this daily deal software thing is the thing. And then so we've evolved and made mistakes, and it's been quite a journey from just by myself to hundreds of people, and to now we're back down to around 50 people.
Okay. And yeah, I guess coming back into the CEO role, what's the latest? I mean, how has the game changed over the last few years?
Paul, how's it working at AppSumo? He likes it.
Paul likes working at
Paul
AppSumo.
likes it.
Yeah.
It's what? It is a fun game. I mean, so I took a year off, and I think there's a cool story to tell. Like, start a company and it's making millions of dollars, and then I'm not working, right? Like, that's a story I think people want to try to brag about. But I think I never felt good when I'm not being a part of the work. And it's nice to create things and feel productive. You feel good about yourself. And I was surprised how much I missed it. And so our company has been basically making a lot of our own mistakes. So probably in the last 18 months, like, we went from almost $100 million in revenue to this year, it'll be closer to more like $60 million in revenue. That's not good. And so I was seeing that happening, and that's partly our fault. Partly we haven't evolved well with the market. And so my wife, you get yourself a good husband or wife. Jewish mom first, husband, wife second, like unstoppable. And sorry, I don't know if we can do Jewish jokes today. I don't know. Okay. No. So, but my wife was like, you got to go back there and fix it. You got to go back there and fix it. And, I think in life, it's like, do you want to be a seagull? Or, the seagulls come by and they poop and then they fly away. And you want to be on the sidelines, just kind of commentating about the game, or do you want to be in the game? And I was like, all right, let me get back in the game.
Yeah.
And so it's been probably some of the most stressful. I've only been back 2 months, and it's been stressful as hell, because I'm with my family. I'm trying to give time for that. But there's so much change in our company. We have companies going out of business. We promote software deals. Companies are going out of business. The customers are rude. Not all of them, but some of them. Our website's not converting. We have people quitting. And so it's just been a challenge. It's been a real stressful challenge for the past 2 months, but it's been exhilarating. I'm enjoying it. Like, I was voice memoing a guy today, and I don't know, I'm just at peace with this. Like, what a cool life. I get these problems.
Yeah.
I get to wake up and have problems every day. Like, it's not that I want the problems every day necessarily, but it's the same thing with my daughter, that I'm up at 5 a.m. today. And I'm like, I'm lucky to have this experience. And the same thing goes with AppSumo, where instead of me complaining, which I do, I love a good complaint or a kvetch, but at the same time, I'm trying to think, all right, we had a partner today who some of the people are writing reviews. How do we address this? Cool. I get to work on that. And I have smart people like Paul, who's really impressive. And we have a lot of smart people at the company. And so it's been nice to start getting back to the fundamentals of our business, it's a very straightforward company. We find people who've made cool software, we package it, get a good deal on it, and then we do our best to tell as many people as possible. So really going back to the fundamentals and doubling down on what's historically worked for our business.
Is there any ask for the crowd? Any crowdsourcing? Any help from this group? Or
sign up if you're looking for software deals, or you would buy software today, like Stripe, Dropbox, any of these type of tools. Check out appsumo.com. Join the newsletter.
Yeah, and I have definitely used it for some podcasting software. So great platform. I think we're ready to move into some Q&A. Do we have any first volunteers for question and answer? This usually takes it's the best part of the show. It takes a little bit. Okay, we got John. Can you come up to the mic here?
What is the most unexpected benefit of actually being an entrepreneur that has crossed your path?
The first thing that comes to mind is like, I think about my time very differently than other people. Like, I try to hire help at home, and my wife's like, no, don't use the nanny, or I have an assistant. She's like, don't use the assistant, I'll do it. I'm like, I'd rather be able to spend my time with you or with our daughter or how I want. I think that's definitely an entrepreneur, like, unexpected, that you start using that in other areas of your life. I think fundamentally another core thing has just been who I've met. Like just being out there, like coming to events like this, putting myself out there on Twitter, putting a book out, doing a company like today. There's these guys in San Francisco. It's called Dart AI. It's on AppSumo. It's a project management tool. It's just like two guys from San Francisco making things. Like, how cool is that? I just get to meet different people. And I think for my blog, Kagan.com, or all these different things I've worked on, I think that's probably the most unexpected. It's not always monetary. Like meeting a Zwift person is really cool. Shout out to Zwift. Yeah. It just the different paths of people you cross is definitely unexpected.
I know Mike Provenzano has one.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, how are you? Forgive me for not knowing this. I don't really follow a lot of what is happening today, but I just ride a bike. Literally.
Dude,
I relate to your trips to Europe.
Oh, man.
Honestly, like, if I could leave today, I would go find a little apartment in the Basque Country and never leave.
Let's do it. Hold on. How come you're not doing that?
I pimp Sam's kits every chance I get. You slept all day at Intel and didn't get fired.
Yeah.
What got you fired from Facebook?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Like, I'm sorry, I don't know.
No. It's okay. I don't know. How come you don't go to the Basque Country and do that little house thing you want to do?
No, that's a plan. I'm actively like selling things off.
Hell yeah.
I got some real estate here. I've got a friend. We're going in April to watch a tour of the Basque Country. He's got a little apartment in Lacadio. His wife is from there. And I'm like, I'm doing this. So I've been there 3 years in a row, and like,
amazing.
You just can't beat Europe.
It's so good.
They're so friendly. They love you there. Like, if you get out of their way, they wave you back into the road. They just like, it's an amazing place. Dump this. I just got back yesterday from a trip. I was in California. It's awesome. And I'm really still kind of pissed off, low-key mad that I'm back.
Dude.
So you're talking about Spain. I'm like, oh, my God.
You got to get back there.
But honestly, what got you?
Yeah, the Facebook thing. First off, I leaked information. It sounds more dramatic. It's not as dramatic. It was like, we were launching, like Facebook used to be for college kids, and we were launching professional. So if you have at Microsoft.com, you could join. And so we weren't doing any press. So the night before it launched, I emailed TechCrunch because I was friends with them. And I was like, hey, we're launching this in the morning. Can you write about it after it launches? And I was at Coachella. So, I might have been, impaired.
In the Zeitgeist, yeah.
And, I don't know, Block Party was playing, if you guys know that band.
Oh, yeah.
And he ended up writing about it right away. And so that wasn't good. And I think I was with Dustin Moskovitz. He's one of the co-founders. And then I emailed the exec team. And so I think it was that. And then I think that was one part. And I think the other fundamental part for me was more, I wasn't a good fit when they got to 150 people. Like, I think with AppSumo right now, there's a lot of chaos and there's a lot of energy needed to make things happen. And I'm excellent. I'm like, this is my element. This chaos, this like this force is really where I'm at. And I think when you get to a larger size and there's like project management meetings about fonts, is where I didn't thrive. And I think, no. And people do. People love fonts. And they loved meetings about that stuff. And I remember I even looked at my old journal, and it was like, I don't like being here. And I was, similar to Sam, even at Facebook, I was starting side hustles. So at Facebook, similar to this, I had a conference business called Entrepreneur 27. And then I was doing venture. It was called Labor versus Capital dodgeball tournaments. Like, I don't know. This is the stuff we thought of. And I was playing like chess tournaments, and I was hosting a lot of events and working on my blog. And I met like the Box. You guys know Box.com?
Of course.
Yeah, those guys like came to my office at Facebook. So I was excited about that stuff as well. And I think and Mark came to me one day and was like, do you want to be here at Facebook, or do you want to be Noah Kagan and do your thing? And I think ultimately I kind of knew that. Even then, I kind of had that feeling. And I think they made the decision for me. And so many times now that I run a company, when I'm talking to people or unfortunately having to let them go, I'm like, a lot of times they're like, yeah, this is not for me here. And they know that too. And I think I knew that, but it was just, I was young. I was so excited to be there. It was like my everything. Like that was my life.
Yeah. Great answer. Mike doesn't remember this. He had a question that I loved. He said, as someone who helped launch the social media age, how much time do you really spend scrolling? Be honest.
Yeah. Lately, where I spend the majority of my time is fantasy football.
Okay.
So I think that's my...
So not a lot of scrolling.
I scroll on Twitter. The thing is, people aren't honest with themselves. It's like, oh yeah, I do it here. I probably just mostly Twitter, probably like an hour a day.
Okay.
on Twitter.
There you go,
I use
Mike.
a lot for business. A lot of times I'm reaching out to people, get feedback, talk about their products. I'm posting here and there, but yeah, I don't do Instagram as much. Maybe just to see what my wife sends like these family memes, like, look what this dad does. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. But no Facebook, LinkedIn, never.
All right. That's awesome. Yeah. Spend a lot of time on LinkedIn these days. So that's great.
I think whatever and I used to do a YouTube channel. I think some of you guys have seen my videos where I go to people's houses in Austin, or I did a private jet where I just went up to some guys, asked me to go on his jet. That went very viral. And so I think I go through, like all of us, I go through spurts. And so I was, probably thinking about which platform I want to be creating on.
Right.
So I don't scroll, but I do watch a tremendous amount of YouTube.
Nice.
I don't know, a lot of people here. I watch a lot of fantasy football analyst videos.
Nice. Did Matthias, did you have a question or thanks?
I wanted to sort of dig into your transition, right? It sounds like you had your first child, you took 12 months off, and that's obviously kind of a different lifestyle and different experience for you. And now you're coming back into being the CEO, right? And I think the question is around sort of like being a CEO is, you said earlier, it's chaotic, stressful, takes a lot of energy as well, right? How was that transition for you? How did you manage that, coming from sort of being there for your family, being there with your wife, being there with your daughter, and then going into this stressful, chaotic situation, and probably less time to ride bikes, less time to travel, most likely. So how do you sort of cope with that on a daily basis? How do you keep your energy up? And how do you manage sort of the dynamic that evolves at home with your famly, right?
What's it like for you, or what's going on with you?
Well, for me, I took off a year and a half from running my business, right? And I exited, and I'm not at a stage where you are, where I would be able to go all in again, right? Because I still need to have a little bit more energy, right? And so I wouldn't say guilty about jumping all in, because I think it would maybe take away a little bit from the experience with my kids. That's kind of what I'm feeling right now. Yeah. There's a guilt aspect of maybe not being as available as I could be otherwise.
Yeah, it's. I'm sure a lot of people can relate. So today I went downstairs at 2:50 because I had a meeting at 3, and I wanted to get a snack. And my daughter sees me, and then I hold her, and then I want to give her back to my wife, and then she just starts bawling, and that is really, because then I have to walk away, but I want to be with her, and so I ended up just bringing her on the Zoom meeting. So I was just well, my daughter's gonna join for a little bit here, and then she kind of almost ends the Zoom meeting, which I wouldn't mind. I'm joking. And then my wife comes and gets her. But I do my best to not let my daughter see me on my phone. And then I really try when it's 7 to 9. I do my best. 7 to 9, and then 6 to 9 just to be present with her and my wife. But I guess my narrative, or the story I tell myself, is I have insane energy. I think even same on the bike. What's your what's the company?
Mike.
Aminino? What's the company called?
Armanino. For the sake of the recording, Mike just made a very valid point, which is, life is hard. Riding bikes is not really hard. And yeah.
And so I think coming back to the work, I think I have a narrative in my head that I'm I just have an insane amount of energy, abnormal. And it's the same as all of yours. It's just what I tell myself repeatedly. It's on repeat. Man, I can't believe you have all energy all day for your daughter, for this, for that. And then I don't think I feel guilt right now. I'm really enjoying my balance. I think everyone who's a parent, I miss the freedom of I want to go ride on a weekend and I don't have to worry about a time to come home. And that's just part of the experience. So I also try to appreciate hey, this is the experience of this time period.
I love that. The unlimited energy, having that as a mindset, right? That energy is a choice. Where do you think you got that from? Was that like a childhood thing, or is that something that came to you later?
There's a book. The book I'd recommend is called Power of Full Engagement. It's not like a Eckhart Tolle book. It's more talking about, like, instead of time management, energy management. It probably comes from my mom. Yeah, my mom's very. This is live. Is it gonna be recorded?
Yeah, I mean, it's not
I don't
streaming,
know.
but
I'll say
yes,
it
it's
nicely.
live, and we
But
can
so
edit. Yeah,
She just, like, she comes to the house and she just won't stop. And I'm like, can you just chill for a bit? And she's like, no, I got to clean more dishes or clean the oven or whatever it is. And so I think there's probably from my genetics, probably something from that. But I don't know. I would say lately I try to think, how am I making progress? Like, I'm showing up Monday, I'm leaving work Friday. What's different this week? And I think of each week, I wake up, come Monday, look forward to it, look forward to Monday, and leave Friday being like, what did I want to accomplish? Did I make things move forward? It's an exciting week to live. And then I do my best the mornings, nights, and weekends to be available with my family. Now I in life, it's trade-offs. So I don't cycle as much, or like I do it at like 2:00 between meetings. Like I was talking with Andy. So it's not what I want, but it's just it's where life is. But yeah, jump back in, I would say. I don't know. I'm very happy finally back in with work. I personally love it. It's not easy, but I love it.
thanks, Matthias. I think Carol's up. Where's Carol?
Hi, Carol.
I asked this question just because I'm curious. And, similar to you, I have a Nigerian mom, not a Jewish mom. And growing up, watching her ask for certain things, it was very embarrassing, especially after we moved to the US. My question is, what is one ask that has felt kind of impossible and somewhat embarrassing that's changed your entire trajectory with business and kind of, where you are, that's brought you kind of where you're sitting right now?
Probably with my wife. The ask of the wife. Well, we broke up.
Oh.
Right. And so then I had to ask her back. Okay. And that was not easy. And then she's such an amazing woman. She's very strong, but also sweet and all these things. And so asking her back and then working through those, some of the things we had to work through was very awkward. And then I had to fly to Spain. I met while cycling in Spain. That's how we ended up meeting too. But that was definitely the hardest one. And I talk about in the book, and I'm not saying you have to go buy the book, but I encourage people to do the coffee challenge. And so that's become famous through the book, as well as I've done it, promoted a lot, which is not this bar because it's an open bar, but try it yourself. Like, what I love is who here will commit to. Let me tell you what it is, and let's see if you commit to it tomorrow. You basically go to Starbucks or I don't know, Houndstooth or Joe's, wherever, and you order your coffee, and then you just ask for 10% off, and then they like look at you like, what do you mean? You're like, can I get 10% off? And the thing that's interesting about it is universal. You could do it every day. You could do it at different places. And the point is not the discount, but it's the discomfort and the skill of practicing asking. Does anyone here do it? Will anyone do it tomorrow? Will anyone do it tomorrow? Right there in the back with the hat?
Yeah. Elliot will definitely
is that
do
you?
it.
All right, here,
100%.
You get a signed copy of $1 Million Weekend. And
All right, Elliot.
Report back about your ask.
And there is actually something to this because Noah, in the book, I think there's sort of like a daisy chain, right? Where you're asking people to pass it on.
Oh, in the book, yeah. There's a page like I think 29 or so. I asked the reader to write a review.
Right.
And so it's it's just it is asking. It's just a skill. Like ask to be a photographer,
right.
Ask to be a guest, ask for the space or sponsors. Ask for a wife or husband. That's really as you start thinking like asking for a job, asking for help. Like it's a skill, and it's kind of the fundamental element of humans. It's like how we actually, frankly, get the things we want instead of getting the things you're getting.
I don't know if you've had the same experience, but watching my mom ask for an additional discount at Ross, oh my God, just bury me.
Yeah, our mothers sound they should hang out. My mom returns more than she buys, which I don't know how that's possible. She's like, I'm like, all her clothes have the tags on. I'm like, Mom, you got her nightmare somewhere cuts the tags off. She can't return it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it.
Great. Thank
Carol.
you.
Okay, goodbye.
We have covered so much ground, and you've been really just thoughtful about like
Thank you.
sharing. I've learned a lot about you from this conversation. You've done all this stuff, like really remarkable stuff. I mean, the book, it's a bestseller. AppSumo, a very successful company. And we didn't talk about the YouTube channel, but it's got like 1 million+ subs. So Noah has a lot of people know who Noah is. Like, and especially now as a family man, what kind of legacy do you want to leave on? Like, people know Noah Kagan. How do you want to be known?
I don't think about that. I guess I just think
that's fair.
Yeah. I think lately I want my wife to like me.
That's a strong legacy.
Like, yeah. I want her to like me, and then I want to like me too. I want if my wife likes me, like baby happy, wife happy, Noah happy, right? Like that's the order. And I think in terms of the legacy, I guess I have this imagination that like after it goes, like none of all your accomplishments just disappear.
Yeah.
Like this all just disappears. So like, don't be so focused on getting like a bench named after you. Instead, it's just like, are you treating your significant other? Is she liking who you are? And then how do you feel about yourself?
Yeah.
And so what's been interesting is coming back to AppSumo with Paul and being able to work with someone like him and all these other people, Anna and Sean and Ilona. I'd say it's given me confidence to feel better about who I am. Right? Like it's like when you do a hard ride and I was talking with Adam and you like come home and you're like, I'm the man. Where's my cherry juice? I want my tart cherry juice and my electrolytes because I'm the man here. Tom, you know what I'm talking about? Like it's like, and I think there's that, at the end of the day, like if I can feel good with my wife and feel good about myself, I think that's a very nice legacy for me.
That's a great answer coming from someone that's got some, public sort of your public figure. So
yeah,
that's awesome. All right. So last question I always ask is, have you thought about some of the parallels between entrepreneurship and bike racing, bike riding? Anything you can draw, it can be a stretch. What do we think?
I think, business like cycling, it's more fun with friends, right? Like some of my favorite things is just like, who do I get to go on a journey with? I think sometimes cycling becomes too much other stuff, which is like, and same in business, like who am I working with and can we do things we're proud of together? And I would say success in cycling and success in business is a lot of it is like, are you consistent? Are you doing it for a long period of time? It's easy to kind of have a little bit and it goes away with our health. And so consistency, who you're doing it with.
I think I've asked probably 22 people. I think you're the first person that's answered with your company. That's, who, not your company, who your company is, the company you're keeping. Yes. Yeah. It's a great answer.
Yeah.
Noah Kagan, everyone.
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah.
Thanks,
give it up. All right, my asks at this point are that you come ride bikes with us tomorrow at 7 a.m.
Yes.
Got to see some of you folks out there. We got some really fly merch. Please buy our merch.
Where do we start tomorrow?
At the Meteor, 7 a.m. at the Meteor. And we'll wrap up with some coffee thanks to Cold Cycle and Franck's, actually. So...
Do the coffee challenge at the Meteor. That's great.
Yeah, and we got to get Doug to see if he'll dole out some 10% discounts. Doug's a tough cookie, guys. The final ask, and a really exciting one, is that we're building an in real life community here, as is showcased with the event this evening. I'd like to try to formalize it. So we're going to send out a survey asking for feedback from namely founders and investors that are here, asking you what sort of value can hill climbers bring you that would get you to kind of lean in and tap in more. So again, my ask is that when you get that survey, please complete it and turn it around because, we're building something here and we'd love for you to to let us know what you would like to see out of it. So that's all we got, y'all.
Thanks. Is this still open bar for everyone?
Yeah, we got another hour and a half at the bar, so go get it.